also now introduce our guests who are joining to take this discussion forward. I have my colleague Ashish Mehrishi, who tracks developments of the Enforcement Directorate. We have the former Deputy Director of the Enforcement Directorate, Satendra Singh. We also have an actor, Nasir Abdullah. We have a lawyer, Aniket Nigam, and we also have the founder and consulting partner at Perfect Relations, Dilip Cherian. Good to have all of you on the broadcast with us. Ashish, you've been tracking this story from day one, so let's begin with you. We want to break down the nexus bit by bit for our viewers. From a witness to now an accused, where did this nexus between or the relationship between Jacqueline Fernandez and Sukesh Chandrashekar really begin?
So, if you go into the background of the story of Sukesh Chandrashekar, he's like 32, 33 years old. 33 years old, has been coming and going behind the bars for last 14, 15 years. There are around 19 odd cases against him, almost all for cheating and extortion. Now, as far as Jacqueline Fernandez goes, Jacqueline Fernandez basically, he has been chasing Bollywood stars for quite some time. Now, when he was in jail, in Rohini jail in Delhi, for another case, at that point in time, he basically contacted a person who was basically a lady who could basically connect people in the Bollywood. Now he basically got into the groove of Bollywood through this lady, and then they started exchanging relationship, or you can say started exchanging gifts with each other. Slowly, because he has been coming in, he has been going out of the jail for a number of years.
True.
So Jacqueline Fernandez got close to him at one point in time, and they were also even planning to get married or planning to buy a luxury house in Mumbai. But ultimately, Jacqueline Fernandez, as the charge sheet that the prosecution company that has been filed today, it very clearly indicates, my sources confirmed to me, that Jacqueline Fernandez was very much aware that this man is a cheat, an extortionist, a conman, a person who has been impersonating high-profile people like the Law Secretary of India, the Home Secretary of India, and she was enjoying all the money from the extortion racket that he was running from the jail. Now, interestingly, if you see, what has been found till now, 84 policemen have been named in a FIR that has been registered by Delhi Police, which says that 84 people were in connivance with Sukesh Chandrashekar inside the jail premises, where he was being given benefit, and all senior people, it includes the seniors as well as the juniors in the jail who were basically giving him all the benefits. He was given a room in which he used to have, he used to run a sort of a
nexus as far as where the problem was, as far as jail authorities was concerned, because there are two aspects to what we're covering today. One, of course, is the proceeds of crime which was given and which Jacqueline Fernandez was a recipient of, and the other, of course, is how this nexus played out behind bars for a man to be operating this entire scam. But I want to first bring in Satendra Singh as well. Satendra Singh, as my colleague Ashish has been pointing out all through the day, now with this case taking a new turn from a witness to an accused, how difficult will it be for Jacqueline Fernandez? क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि अब अगर अरेस्ट हुआ तो बेल मिलना अंडर पीएमएलए will be very very difficult.
आप एकदम ठीक कह रही हैं, क्योंकि जैकलिन को एक्यूज बनाया गया है. एक्यूज का मतलब कि पीएमएलए के सेक्शन 3 में जो ऑफेंस ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग है उसका एक्यूज बनाया गया है, क्योंकि जैकलिन ने, जैसा कि रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं, उनके पास प्रोसीड ऑफ क्राइम गया, उनके पोजीशन में था, उन्होंने उसको यूज किया नोइंगली. तो ये इसके लिए जो सेक्शन 3 में पीएमएलए के जो ऑफेंस की डेफिनेशन है उसमें पूरी तरह से फिट होती है. अब जब फिट हो जाती हैं तो सेक्शन 4 में पनिशमेंट है. पनिशमेंट का मतलब यदि प्रूव हो गया कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में तो मिनिमम जो सजा है वो 3 years है, रिगरस इम्प्रिजनमेंट, दैट कैन बी एक्सटेंडेड अप टू 7 years. तो अब वो बड़ी मुश्किल में है, क्योंकि वो गवाह नहीं है, वो एक्यूज है. और जहां तक बेल की बात है, अब उनको ट्रायल कोर्ट में अपनी बेल लेनी पड़ेगी, जो कि शायद इतनी आसान नहीं हो, जैसा कि आप भी बता रही हैं.
Correct. And because of what we've heard from the Supreme Court just, a couple of weeks ago, where they've upheld, as far as the provisions of PMLA are concerned, and that's where it becomes really, really problematic, that
Yes.
if an arrest does happen, then bail is looking very, very difficult for Jacqueline Fernandez. But before we talk about what the future course of action here is, as I said when I started the show, there are two aspects to how this con even has unfolded so far. Dilip Cherian, I want to bring you in. It is baffling, for the lack of any other word, how this man who was behind bars ran this entire con with so much ease. He had all the available options at his fingertips. He wanted phones, he wanted SIM cards, he wanted expensive liquor, he wanted to meet people at odd hours. All of it was given just in return of a few crores. Isn't that a larger issue to first begin this conversation with?
Real issue is what is happening in our jails. And the kind of money we are talking about, my sources tell me, is not in the single figure crores, but in the double figure crores. And the point is that when a greatly skilled conman like Sukesh gets his hand on the kind of apparatus he had access to and the kind of privacy he had access to in jail, he was virtually able to run this empire out of jail with two levels of confidence. One, that he was protected, and two, that he couldn't be accused because technically he was in jail. So the fact is that the reason why the Jacqueline Fernandez issue is being brought to the fore is because the moment you have Bollywood attention, then the attention towards the people who are really in connivance with Sukesh become lesser players, and everybody focuses, like we are, on the Bollywood angle. So the proceeds of crime which Jacqueline Fernandez may have had access to are comparatively smaller. It is proceeds of crime, she was aware of it, and those points are valid. But the fact is that we need to make sure that the spotlight does not shift from the real co-conspirators along with Sukesh, which are the people who are running the jail.
Correct. And because we don't want to take the spotlight away from how this con actually unfolded, before I go to my other guests and we continue this discussion, we actually want to play out this report for you of how this con actually unfolded, and then we'll continue this conversation.
"32-year-old Sukesh Chandrashekar is the protagonist of this real-life drama. A boy from a lower middle-class family in Bengaluru who conned the rich and famous and lived life king.